Islamists come for GB News. Good evening, thank you for watching. Islamists in the United Kingdom seem to be targeting GB News for being one of the two news networks in the United Kingdom that are actually providing some coverage to Rupert Lowe's independent Grooming Gang Enquiry. So what do we have here? What's the article? Let's have a look now. GB News sparks nearly 4,000 Ofcom complaints over a racist report about Muslim grooming gangs. So what do we have? Let's read the information. GB News sparks nearly 4,000 Ofcom complaints over racist and hateful reports about Muslim grooming gangs. GB News has sparked over 4,000 Ofcom complaints from viewers who claimed the channel did a racist and hateful report on the predominantly Muslim grooming gangs. Viewers turned into Patrick Christie's show on Friday the 6th of February, where the host shared his thoughts on Rupert Lowe's independent Grooming Gang Enquiry. Got a sense of myself there because I'm on YouTube. As the hearings began, the former Reform MP has launched a crowdfunder which raised over 600k to support a national inquiry into the gang-based exploitation across the UK of predominantly working class boys and girls. Don't be fooled, it started far before anyone thought, and it's still going on to this day. There's even parts of the United Kingdom, like the SNP in Scotland, that are not participating in the minimal inquiry that the government's going to be doing itself. They've just declined it outright. So there's parts of the UK where people aren't going to get any justice at all. So we'll continue with the information here. He stated that he started the project before the PM announced the government-backed national inquiry into the grooming gangs, and has since said his investigation will continue regardless. Weighing in on the matter, Patrick says, the fact that specifically around Eid, there's testimony that basically some Pakistani men in Britain celebrated Eid by inviting their dads, cousins and brothers, etc. around so they could abuse young working class white girls and boys. Years ago, I did an interview with a woman, and it was grim and a gang survivor. She remained anonymous and spoke about the religious motivations behind her attack and what the attackers were doing, have the sorts of names would call her. It was religiously motivated, it is a hate crime, and it was done to white girls because they were white, and white boys as well, let's be clear. I kind of only want to repeat them on television, but the motivation was clearly religious and clearly racist against her because she was a young white woman. In her case, she wasn't actually from a vulnerable background. She was sort of fairly middle class background. He continued, the evidence seems to be overwhelming when you hear these stories that there is a religious connotation motivation there. And it's not just about the authorities that didn't want to act because they're afraid of being accused of racism or being racist. In some cases, they were quite clearly afraid of being called Islamophobic. Yeah, like that's a crime. It really isn't. The idea you have to refer to them as Asian grooming gangs is not Japanese people that are doing this. So even in the way that we've reported or repeatedly been told, we are not allowed to even call them Asian grooming gangs. But even that isn't quite accurate, so what is? I think it's good on Rupert Lowe for actually taking the initiative and doing something. I think it's absolute disgrace that the government hasn't stepped in or up to the plate or done this properly because they can't be trusted. Now, I want to share a bit about the community that's doing this. They're called MEND, that's MEND, all in capital letters. They have a Twitter account and I think they're on Facebook as well. Now, according to the Henry Jackson Society, they have dubious intentions, which I have no doubt are accurate. A new Henry Jackson Society report has warned that warned the public sector that organisations and elected officials are partnering with an extremist-linked group, Muslim Engagement and Development, MEND. Compiling years' worth of evidence, the report MEND, Islamists masquerading as civil libertarians, demonstrates that MEND meets the government's own definition of extremism, while local authorities, police, teachers and MPs have been working with this organisation. Our findings include how MEND meets the government's own definition of extremism, while local authorities, police and teachers, MPs have been working with them. It reveals how Mend had regularly hosted illiberal, intolerant and extremist Islam speakers, while also pushing the message that risks being inflammatory and making British Muslims feel further alienated from society. Mend and key figures of the organisation have attacked moderate Muslim groups. So if you are a moderate Muslim, you are an Uncle Tom, according to these, just like Sadiq Khan would call you. Let me continue. Mend has openly sought to undermine counter-terrorism legislation and counter-extremism efforts, in addition to having its own links to extremists. Despite this, the group received public funding from Tower Hamlets Council, no surprises there, to review part of the borough's counter-radicalisation prevent programme. Several of the organisation's employees and volunteers, including senior figures, have publicly expressed a range of disturbing views on terrorism and anti-Semitism, or Semitism. This has included expressing support for terrorists overseas, dismissing recent horror attacks in the UK, promoting anti-Semitic conspiracies, and even calling for British mosques to hold prayers for... can't even pronounce that, and to be frank, I don't really want to. Author of the report and the research fellow at the Henry Jackson Society, Tom Watson, said, "The report demonstrates a considerable detail while Mend's message risks becoming so dangerous. It also exposes the shocking, troubling sentiments from individuals who have been part of the organisation for some years. Public figures, elected officials agreeing to speak on Mend's events should be aware of this organisation, which has hosted preachers known for extremist views and intolerant views. This is who they are aligning themselves with." As a Christian, as a Catholic, I would want, if there was any people in my faith or religion, to feel the full force of the law if they participated in anything remotely resembling what appears to be happening in parts of the Muslim community in the United Kingdom. That goes without question, that goes without saying. So when I hear of stories like this, where you get elements of that community trying to stifle free speech under the guise of Islamophobia, don't be fooled. I'm not fooled. It's like Labour trying to bring in a working definition of Islamophobia. These types of people are probably being consulted on what will be government policy. You need to be aware of these things. Islam, radical Islam, is not compatible with the United Kingdom. As I previously stated on previous videos, you've got Arab states like the UAE. They've actually proscribed and removed the extremist elements of Islam from their country. The West hasn't done this. The West has no filter on this. And this is what happens. You get the extreme fringes, which is not a small number. If there's over 1 billion Muslims in the world, the extreme fringe, which is anywhere between 20 and 25%, that's 250 million people. That's a heck of a problem that the West isn't safeguarding against, and that's what I'm calling out on this video. They'll weaponise our liberal values and the way that our middle-class wine mums that run the country actually pander to them. They'll use that, and they'll use it to tear down and burn down the West, in my view. This needs to be resisted. Now, if you're in alignment with me, give this video a like, give it a subscribe. If you think that we're a big target, and the government's stance on not wanting to be Islamophobic or racist is outdated, to say the least, again, comment. If you think I'm right, that it's a shame and a travesty that the legacy media, the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Sky News aren't reporting on Rupert Lowe's inquiry at all, make me aware. I appreciate your time. Don't trust the legacy media. Don't trust the wokerati on this stuff. They are willfully ignorant, and they are creating a major issue that we have to clean up. I appreciate your time.